Yeah. Hi.
Especially our, yes, esteemed panelist Gautam and Sonali. Welcome once again. Yes, and welcome for all those who made it on time. Uh, so I'd like to first set the, context of this panel discussion going. So we all know that human resources has been facing major challenges, pandemic and post-pandemic world. So, and HR leaders are now looking at hastening the integration of technology into their daily tasks. So as we move ahead into 2023, the need will be to further simplify processes and involve wider use of technology and embedding the digital HR, such as self-service, automation, and other predictive talent tools into the overall organizational landscape. So that will be, our topic of discussion. And just, I will take a minute to introduce you to our panelists. So we have Sonali, who's Vice President HR with Educational Initiative.
Hi.
So Sonali is a collaborative and innovative HR leader, also a strategic advisor and talent partner with over 19 years of broad-based diversified HR experience. So she has been really instrumental in driving, HR programs around change management and talent transformation. And she has a strong expertise in the design and execution of people strategy, CSR, employee volunteering, employee diversity. So welcome, Sonali.
Thanks, Priya. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah. And then, yes, Gautam. Gautam is the head of HR with JSW Steel. He's a leader whose professional journey spans over 24 years across industries and across locations in India, and is a perfect mix of 3 E's: education, experience, and exposure. So he has managed and led entire HR life cycle. He's passionate about giving distinctive talent experience by, driving employee experience and engagement, championing change management, and creating a positive work environment through digital interventions and process automation. So welcome, Gautam. A warm welcome to you, Gautam.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we'll just move into our discussion. So Gautam and Sonali, I would first want to understand from you, there's been major transformation in the way we work. So we'll love to hear your experience in the past year. How has technology interventions, some of the interventions that you have implemented in your respective organization, and how have they helped you move forward? So Gautam, can we hear from you first?
Sure. Thank you, Priya, for inviting us and giving us this opportunity to interact with, the new group or the new cohort which is coming up for the CHRO program. So first, wish you all a very happy new year. And may I request the new participants to at least keep their video on so that we also can have a face to the name, and that would probably make the interaction better. So Priya, thank you so much. And I think what we are talking today is absolutely the the buzzword which is there in industry across, and certainly not in HR, but more predominantly in business. Because business is looking for digitalization and automation in a far more aggressive manner, than implementing across, the business functions, so that the implementation can be seamless. And what we really envision as a digital organization, or, what we really want to bring to, to the front, can easily be achieved. So I come from a typical brick and mortar company, which is a steel manufacturing. But prior to this, I worked with Deloitte for a long stint. So I would actually share my experiences, from both the organizations. And Deloitte definitely was much ahead in the curve as far as the implementation of more automation or digitalization was concerned.
Mhm.
But definitely today, when we also talk about employee experience, which is one of the most important factor that we look for our talent, and we really want to keep them engaged. I think that is something which is now something which cannot really be avoided, which cannot only be discussed, but it has to be implemented, it has to be worked upon, and that is where we stand today. So first, let me talk about JSW Steel, what we have done. So we recently rolled out, our HRMS, which is actually Darwin Box, and we have customized it to a great extent to suit our requirements. Because everything has to be on a touch, and everything has to be on your handheld device. Everything has to be easily accessible, be it right from entering into your workspace, be it in terms of your attendance system, be it in terms of your onboarding, be it payroll, be it learning and development, performance management. So everything. And I specifically didn't talk about TA much, because TA is the area where we are getting into. But many other organizations, they've already taken huge steps in in bringing in digitalization, especially AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning in the TA space. And I think one of the wonderful example for this is L'Oreal, which does a lot of good work, uh, just based on kind of experience that I have seen across organizations which are using the current technical or the digital tools to enable their TA initiatives. But I think the most important one which is being used universally is the learning and development, the talent development area of talent organization, because that is something which really, during pandemic, and I think pandemic, it really enforced, but even prior to pandemic, the concept of having those classroom trainings or one-on-one interaction was, kind of fading away, and everything was becoming online. So we use all those tools which are available for learning and development, including Harvard business courses and everything for our employees, where we encourage them. Similarly, rewards and recognition is another thing which is completely on the platform. It does not have any manual intervention. So you can share or express your gratitude, your praise for your colleagues on the technical platform. Performance appraisal. And performance appraisal is typically something with Deloitte actually initiated in a very good way, which we call that reinvented performance management system, which had a mechanism of not having a biannual or an annual appraisal, but having a monthly conversation. In fact, it was scheduled to be 15 days conversation between a counselee and a counselor. And the tool that we used really helped in capturing and facilitating these discussions and these, what we had actually envisioned for the performance management system. And more so, with the new generation, the new workforce coming in, the workplace has really changed drastically, and it has further changed more. I'm sure with Web 3.0 coming in, a lot of such experience will change manyfold. And what we are seeing today in our organization, as I said, in some of the areas that we have implemented, it's a far-fetched, and it's really giving that experience to our people, to our employees, where they do not really have to, because it enhances the talent delivery, the services delivery quite fast, and people do not really have to wait to understand what a policy is, to reach out to their HRBP and then ask any specific question, or be it in terms of loans, advance, whatever. Everything is online. You can just do it. And be it in terms of asking for a letter, salary letter, address proof, this, that, so many such, repetitive, and I can call it now the monotonous work, which the HR used to do, is something which has, changed for good, which has really pleasantly become completely online. And that's a big way that we are moving ahead. We are, looking at in terms of creating dashboards, persona-based dashboards. So what a manager should be able to get, what the leadership team should see, what an employee can see. Another big area where we are making this move is the wellness, employee wellness.
Absolutely.
A lot of opportunities being given to them through our EAP vendor, the Employee Assistance Program. What we call it as JSW as We Care. So that is something which is a portal again, and you get a lot of information about your health, your counseling. If you need anything, everything is available out there. So I'll just take a pause, and if any questions,
Yes,
otherwise
please.
I'll
I
definitely
would, yes, like to invite our participants. So, it's a very interactive session. So if you would like to add your experience, please, you're most welcome. So, okay. So, Sonali, let's just hear it out from you, and then we'll open it to everybody, and let's just, have a very interactive discussion with everybody. So yes, welcome, Sonali.
Yeah, thanks. So, this HR digitalization is not something which just started last year. Actually, for the organizations that I work with, is at least goes back 5 years. And it's only because of the progress that was made that when COVID came in, it was easier for the employees to transition, working out of home, because most of the systems were on the cloud, they were mobile, and, employees could reach out on that. So if I look back at the journey, right, so the way it started was that, the expectation from the business was that HR do lot more value added work, right? And today we were stuck with so much of the mundane, the day to day, the kind of employee transactions was there. So it's easy to say, do higher order work, but someday when an employee comes, you still have to address the queries that come in, right? So what we did is we broke down all the work that HR did and said, what are the things we should continue doing, which is stop doing, what can be automated, and what is something which can be outsourced. And then with that, we also build the back end operations function, which did more of the the transactional kind of work. And what had to be built out, again, we chose some champions from within the organization, said, let's start building it out, because as HR, you understand these functions a lot better. So we looked at what was available in the market, and 5 years back, there really weren't too many products ready-made off the shelf you could just pick up and start using. So it had to be built from scratch. And then, using very creative ways, looking at people who were maybe idling. So, okay, of course, it helped that we were part of an IT organization. Primarily my journey has been with IT organizations. And about 5 years back, I was with Cognizant, and, now I'm heading HR for EI, which is into the personal adaptive learning space. And again, very, very interesting the way the whole digitalization has taken place. So at that time, so I'm still talking 3 years before COVID, we started with predictive analytics. There were these things that who are the employees who are at risk, who are at flight risk, and we would mark them manually, amber, red, green. We said this is the first thing that needs to be automated, and then we build this predictive analytics basis which the manager, and they were like, we had identified about 18 things which kind of showed that this employee could be at risk, and then the managers were able to engage with them better. HR was able to engage with them better. Then we also, given the kind of hiring which we had to do, the second priority for us was, getting the whole recruitment system and the ATS completely automated. And at that time when we built it, it was like a very rudimentary thing, but year on year we have incrementally improved on it. And today again, it's very predictive. It runs through a parser. It looks at it has a smart engine in there which does the best matching, and basically doing the interview scheduling to sending feedback to the candidate. It really has enhanced the whole candidate experience and also helped us identify some great talent coming in and shorten the period. I mean, see, each of these things that you do, you can actually go back and metricize and say what has digitalization brought in. So where it took us about 49 days to process a candidate, we were finally able to bring it down to about 7 days. So that was how the average went down. Another interesting thing, maybe in the last 2 years that we are building out, is the whole talent marketplace, the talent which is available within the organization. What are the new jobs that are coming in? Basically democratizing the whole process, not like a manager likes somebody. If there's a vacancy, as a manager picks up somebody, right? So there is again a smart engine built there. People who are either on the talent pool or have raised their hands that, I've completed 2 years and I would like to get rotated out. They get best matched to the openings that are coming up within the organization. And that way there is a lateral movement within the organization. And also it's like an Uberization of talent, I would call it there. So you're doing the matching. There's somebody who needs talent and there is talent available, and you're matching that. And also, as we were getting into it, like an internal gig economy, right? So you want to learn certain skills. There's a project which has that. The project maybe is not a billable project, so they can't take full-time resources. So hence you could apply for it, and you could build on the skills that you wanted.
Right.
Yeah. And the fourth and a very large piece that we did was on the whole career architecture and the career pathing. What we did is made it like a gamified process for them. It was like a fun process. So you identified, this is where I am today, this is where I want to go. So if you want to reach there, it would help, and first of all, this was all designed on paper and then went into the system. It would tell for you to reach from here to there. These are your current competencies. These are the competencies and skills you need. And this is the whole learning journey which is available. So that employee could pick up what all I want to do, put his own milestone. Right. And in the gamification, it was like on a racetrack. So it would say, this is your first pit stop, second pit stop, where you've reached, and fun for the employee to see. And also if they wanted to compare with someone else, they could do it. So it also became competitive, that I'm a third pit stop, somebody else is at second pit stop, and all of that. So the point is that HR can really make it fun, right? Can make it personalized, can gamify it, make it fun. So today, like the Gen Zs, they don't want to see okay, I want to grow, this is how I grow, this is the learning program. So you're making it more fun for them. Yeah. And also telling them you own your career, right? I mean, your boss can only do so much, your HR can only do so much, but for you to reach from here to there, these are the competencies that you need to pick up, and this is the way forward for you. Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. I like the word fun. So, let's make it fun all the way into 2023. Thank you so much, Sonali. So I'd, before we move on to the next section, where we'd like to hear your experiences so far with the, CHRO program, I would like to invite the participants. I know, Maitri, we can see you. So, if there's anything that you'd like to share with us, I know you come from a totally different, space. So is there anything you would want to ask our panelists or share any of your experiences here? Maitri, you're on mute, yeah.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So hi, good afternoon. I'm Maitri. So I've completed my doctorate in environmental science, and I'm basically a sustainability professional. So I take care of ESG in my organization. So the reason I choose for the CHRO program is mainly it is like ESNG. So I want to learn more on this social profile, because in recent years that is gaining lots of attraction. And so I thought it would be more helpful for me to be a better leader tomorrow. So this digitalization also I have come across in my previous organization, where all the employee portal is completely I can view it on my dashboard itself, right from my rewards recognition and everything. It is as a graph kind. I can see my graph on month, so I can just correlate with what has been with the talk that has been went now. So I'm very happy to be part of this team. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Maitri. So let's just hear from you, Gautam. So what is that one thing, how has this program helped you? Has it
I think there is a hand raised.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Rajiv, can you please?
Yeah, very good evening. This is Umesh.
Hi, Umesh.
Yeah, hi. So this is Umesh from Coromandel International Limited. So I wanted to ask one question, as Mr. Pandey has shared about EAP program. Okay, and which is a very good design and very useful program for basically helping the employee, specifically in current time. But how do we enhance the usage of EAP program? Because program is designed in a very good way, but specifically if you look at in the manufacturing industry, for example, I'm from the Coromandel. We are also having the same program for employees. Okay, employee assistance program, but usages of that program specifically for down the line people is very less. So just wanted to know from Mr. Pandey, how would and what should we do to encourage people to use more and more that program so that the ultimate objective will be meeting and the outcome of that program will be helping to the team member. So any thoughts on that? Any
Yes,
suggestion?
Umesh, can I request you to just switch on your video so it'll be,
Sure.
helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Umesh.
Hi.
Good afternoon, and thanks for your question. So what you said is very true, and it is not only for EAP. Let me share, my experience. Any change management or anything that you bring new, be it in terms of any digitalization in recruitment process and L&D process, if rewards and recognition when we made it online, the biggest challenge is the adoption by the people. And I think, the key mantra for that is communication. How you communicate, to what level you communicate, what are the various sources of communication. That is something which really makes the difference. Because if we launch certain initiative and it does not go to the person last in the line, it does not really bring the result that we look forward to. So we have, and I think every organization struggles, with launching any new initiative and that increasing on the adoption. So we have to be a little patient, but we have to devise various ways to communicate, be it in the local language, be it in their vernacular, be it in English, through canteen, through town hall meeting, through HOD meeting, everywhere you need to possibly find a seat, go in that meeting, talk about it, make people aware first, then obviously the adoption will increase. And, luckily during this pandemic time, it was really something which helped our people a lot. And when somebody gets benefited, I think the word of mouth also helps in a big way in making people understand and realize the importance of it. So I would say that communication is the key to it, Umesh, and I think it's only depends that how you devise ways to communicate to your people and reach out to them. Adoption will certainly increase.
And Umesh, if I can add to that, hi. So this was, in fact, in one of the future segments, I was going to talk about well-being. So what we have done is that there is, we have today kind of integrated it with our insurance. Today, there are a lot of creative ways the insurance are getting sold. One of our vendors is Loop Health. And what they've done is that they've given us insurance, but they've also given us a platform where at the same cost of the insurance, they have given us where doctors are available on call, which includes for any health. It also includes if you need like a psychologist to talk to. And they also have an EAP program on this. And again, going digital because these are the Gen Zs. What Loop Health, their app keeps on doing is it keeps sending them reminders, during the course of the day, like, maybe drink some water, or if you have not stretched yourself, stretch yourself. If you need to talk to someone, we're available. So these little messages keep going out to them through the course of the day and through the month. And then, of course, we reiterate it through any of the HR, the meetings that we have. If you have the town hall, we reiterate that these are some of the things that you can use. And also, we're looking at the trend within the organization. When people are leaving, we're asking them, what happened. Many people have mentioned stress to us. And that was one of the reasons for bringing in EAP very strongly and getting people to advocate it. Other thing is managers need to be aware of it, so that sometimes in the one-on-one conversation, it may come out that, there have been people who've come and spoken about not able to sleep very well, or, they're feeling so stressed that they're having to take tablets. And today, the younger generation, which is, are 25, almost 60% of them are on some pills or the other because the stress is so high. So both working with the managers that, how do you, help them reduce that stress, but also through the EAP program, how do you deal with it? So what this EAP also does is they conduct some monthly programs for us, and also weekly something on, stress management, meditation, gratitude. So, you're keeping that course going, that more and more people come and join the program.
Yeah. Great.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Priya, I think Maitri was making some point and we jumped on to Umesh.
So let's just have this conversation, let's have share your experience, and I think we can, take it from there. So I just want to understand, Gautam, you've been 10 months into this program, Sonali. Now, has this program really helped you, get that mindset in terms of, technological bend, get it, has it been helpful to
Tremendously, I would say. Sonali, if I can go first, sorry. Thank you. So, in fact, and I'll come back to, what Maitri was saying, that she is getting the dashboard in terms of graphs and everything. Right. I think that is something which is the order of the day, because graph, the latest study says that most of the data represented in a graphical form is something which is going to kick in very strongly, and that is something which is going forward. So, Maitri, just to, complete that point, what you mentioned. Coming back to your question, Priya, recently we are still in the process of doing our sustainability course, which is taken by one of the best professors in XLRI. We recently completed our, course on design thinking, with, I think, definitely the best person who could be our faculty. And I'm sure that Sonali would, endorse my views on that he definitely, made us think. Because, many a time what happens, and why I especially find this program so useful, that when we come to organization after doing our fresh MBA or something, and then you start working, you are not able to relate to a lot of things what you have actually studied. But you are in the middle of your work when you have already experienced so much. And then when you go back to your classroom, there the relatability part is far more higher and more for, much more relevant to what you do on a day-to-day work. And I think similar feeling and experience we had when we had these sessions with a lot of our professors here, starting from, the understanding human behavior, understanding the environment, then going through the strategy part of it, be it in terms of business strategy or be it in terms of HR strategy. I think all the sessions that we had, we are almost on the verge of completion of our second term. And each and every course module, I think, is deeply thought about, very well curated for our requirements, and it is really helping big time. So no qualms about that. And, while we have to put in more efforts, no two ways about it, though the classes are on Friday and Sunday, but we do have our Saturdays also getting into it, a lot of debate going on our WhatsApp group. But yeah, that's a part of the, the journey that we have undertaken. But it's really interesting and it's full of learning. So yeah, Sonali can add to it.
Yes.
So, I remember the first session, it was Professor Manish. And here we were all sitting, 20 years experience, 18 years experience, and, I've seen everything. First thing the professor did is he asked us a few questions like, can we multitask? And of course we said, of course we can multitask. We do that as women. I'm cooking, I'm doing, so all of that. And then he cuts us down to size, right? So there are a lot of things in our experience that have become like rote learning, right? We've just picked up something from our bosses, something we've seen in an organization and think we know everything. So I think that was the first class where he cut us down to size. He said, we have to unlearn all the things that we've come with and start soaking in, because this is a new journey. There's so much which has, transgressed the past over last 18 years. Maybe we don't know everything, and we also have to learn from the professors who are teaching the new gen and maybe seeing a lot more what is happening in the industry. I mean, Gautam has been with the steel industry throughout. No, he was also with Deloitte. But for me, primarily, I've been with the IT industry, and for me, that's been the end all, right? And in a program like this, it's not just learning from the professors, but it's also learning from the peer group, the cohort that we have. Everybody comes with some amazing experiences. And one other short story I want to leave you with. In public policy, our professor spoke about Romon effect. What was that? Sorry, Romomon effect. Okay, and this is based on a Japanese movie, and where the same incident happens, but 4 different people narrate it in different manner, right? So this Rashomon effect. And when you look at it, right, so it's taught in public policy, but this is something which we can apply to everything. When you look at the HR systems, there is, so the same thing of doing performance management, but the way the manager would see it, the employee would see it, the other reviewers would see it, will be different, right? So you're all explaining the same thing, but from different lenses, right, or different personas, and that has been very interesting to not just look at it from our lens, but to look around. So in essence, right, so the learning process is amazing. And especially if you unlearn and you say, I'm here to take on more knowledge, it's been a great journey. And of course, you're learning from the best. XRI is, of course, the best college to be. And some of the faculty, though some faculty is from XRI, but there's also a lot of international faculty that has got roped in, right? And to see that global perspective, it's really been a phenomenal journey. And some of the best, like for example, on strategic talent development, we are learning from Professor Chami. Professor Chami is the best under 40 under 40 professor. Similarly, there was Professor Padi who taught us laws, right? And he's himself written the book. So there's Professor Fry who was teaching us about managing organizational change. Again, he's an author of a book called Appreciative Inquiry, which is one of the techniques. So that way, it's been amazing to learn from the kind of professors and teachers who are teaching us. Yeah.
Just to add, Professor Brockbank.
Yeah, Wayne Broad. Yes.
Fantastic.
I think,
he's worked with Dave Woolridge, right? Dave Woolridge is known as the father of HR.
HR. Wonderful to hear this, that you're really enjoying this journey. And definitely, I think that has been mantra with the, cohorts of the first batch: unlearn, learn and, relearn. Yes. Yeah. So I think that's something that has got embedded in all of us. And that really is something to really, drop down to the basics and then start your journey again. Wonderful. So yes, yes.
Sorry, we are looking at our second immersion program at the campus, XLRI Jamshedpur. We had one in Jajjar campus. We are now looking forward to the second one.
Yes, in February. Wonderful. Yes. Great. I'm sure you have some, great interactions with your professors and peers. Yes. Yeah. Great. So let's have the participants, if they have any questions related to any of the HR topics or anything related to the program, you're most welcome. Miriam, I know we had interacted. So yes, this is the opportunity. We have Gautam and Sonali, Varat, Samarth, Chitali.
Yeah. Yes. Thanks, Priya. Yeah. So, hello everyone. I'm not sure whether this topic has been covered, but my main intention to be interested in this program is currently I'm actually looking out for better opportunities. So, would this program give me a better opportunity in terms of work profile and external opportunities? Because currently I'm working on a fixed term contract role with HUL on a third party payroll. And the main intention for me is to get a good permanent opportunity into HR with a good organization. And that is the main intention for me to go, with this program. So would you be able to help me on this? I mean, I know it is too early to say anything in terms of opportunities because you are still into the program. But in case if you could just put some light on this.
Yes, it basically, while yes, better career opportunities would be there, but how has then been like what has been the journey in terms of you see yourself, Gautam and Sonali? So that's what I think Miriam would like.
See, if I can start off on this first, Miriam, at least 40% of a cohort has changed jobs. If and obviously when somebody's changing jobs, they're going for a higher profile, right? So what it's also doing is it's opening your mind. It's saying that maybe I want to do something, different. And what this program will add to you is that you'll be an XY alumni. So it adds that tag to you. And of course, you're learning. So once you've done this program, you yourself will be so restless that this is not what I want to do. And the rest is on the opportunities out there, right? Once opportunities are there, you apply and you have the right competencies. There's no stopping you.
Yeah, so I just add to it, Mariam. It's as Sonali mentioned that 40% of our batchmates, they have already changed jobs and they have done it for betterment. Some of them have already made CHROs. So that's the good news. And you know what? While initially we also go with this intent that, okay, once I complete, we'll change the job. But I think when you get immersed into the program, that becomes the end result of that output. Because here, what is more important is what you get in this course. And that experience, that exposure is way different, in terms of what you expect. So that is something and which will definitely, once you have learned it well and once you know what you are doing, I think that is something which comes automatically.
Automatically,
So,
yes.
so that is, I think, should not be the part which should worry you. But I think it is the program which actually helps you to better yourself in such a way that you gain that experience or that confidence in yourself that yes, you are very well positioned today and you can definitely get a better opportunity once you step out or whenever you want to really try for it.
Okay.
Right. And sorry, just adding on, there's also coaching and mentoring services, and there's also career services that LeadUp has introduced. So I'm sure all of that will help you. For me, I recently had like a coaching session with Mayank, and that helped me tremendously. So it's not just about moving on, but maybe even doing better in your current role, right? So there were so many ideas that that came where I thought, okay, I'm already doing everything. So it's been great. More opening your mind to things.
Okay.
Great.
Because currently, since I'm on contractual role, I would be, looking out for a permanent role into a better organization, like in a bigger organization. So that's my main concern, because currently I do not have a brand as such on my CV. So so getting a brand on the CV and which would help me to land up a good opportunity into a good organization, along with the learning, definitely yes. So yeah, that was the
So good news is that HR is always in demand. Other things may go up and down, software engineers, they may need, not need, but HR has always been in demand, and good HR professionals, definitely, right? So it's opportunities there. You have the right skills. It's a match straight away. So I think go with the intent of wanting to learn, enhance your learning, and you're able to prove yourself in the interview. Why would you not get the role that you want?
And Mariam, today we are in an era where the most talked word is gig working. So you are already working on contract as a gig worker. You can find opportunities with many other organizations to continue work like this. That is something which is the in thing now. There are a lot of work being done for a gig worker. People are hiring gig workers. So that space we are in. But yeah, rest assured, this course can definitely provide you the right way to move. Yeah.
Sure.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for your valuable feedback.
Welcome.
Great. So anyone
has a question?
Samath has a question.
Okay.
Hello, hi everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Right. Just to give a background, I completed my MBA back in 2020, and it's been 2 years that I'm pursuing HR. And I plan to do a specialization. Right. My question has 2 points. One, how should I decide what specialization should I pursue? Right. Should I go for organization behavior? Should I go for digitalization? Should I go for analytics, HR analytics? How should I decide that? And when is it the right time in my career to take that jump? After 5 years of experience, after 3 years of experience? So that's my question.
I would say go with firstly, what is it, what interests you? Because once you're working on an area which is your passion, it just becomes like play and you excel in it already, right? So do you want to think about and say, of all the things that you said, is there anywhere you have a inclination yourself? Is there a knack, because all are great areas. Right. I mean, look in HR, everything has its own plus. If there's some people who like analytics, there are other HRs who would rather do employee engagement and not look at data. There'll be others, who want to do some other aspect of it. So it really, I mean, the beauty of HR is there's so many different amazing fields to work in, right? And still work with people. So what interests you?
Yeah, I think that is important, Samarth, what Sonali mentioned, because you should look forward to, what your real calling in is, because that is where your heart lies, and that is what because talent or HR itself is huge in terms of, and it's very critical to business. Okay. So whether it is, and since you are just 2 years in your job, I think, find out your, interest, your, what really, where your passion is, what is your purpose, get driven by that, what is that you want to achieve, and whether it is talent acquisition, talent development, compensation, benefits, which is a very specialized field. Now everything, in HR also can be specialized. So I think you should take your calling depending upon where your interest lies, and give some more time to yourself.
Okay. And yeah, that was the second question. How much time should I take? Since it's 2 years, should I take a jump after 1 year? When I complete 3 years, should I take after 5 years? And I have more broader experience.
I tell this to my team members also. When you become like a CHRO, you have to do everything. You can't say, no, I only specialize in this. So when you start off, right, initially explore everything. If you've never tried comp and ben, or if you've never done mergers and acquisitions, you will not know, is this an area I want to get into? Just hearing the buzzwords that everybody's analytics is key now. Analytics is going to come into everything. Whether you do recruitment, you still need to do your recruitment analytics, or so whatever. So you understand what I'm trying to say. Maybe give it a few years, explore, and then make that call. Because more broad-based you are, the better it is. Because when you become like a super specialized, then again your opportunities also get limited in that way. Right.
Get an experience of all the areas of HR initially. Rotate yourself. Yeah.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sure.
I think so. We are, we are at 4:45. So if there's any last question that we want to take up, anything specific related to the program, we'll be more than happy to answer. Okay, great. So then we are good to go. So Sonali, Gautam, I wanted to ask you if there's anybody who would want to reach out to you individually. So can we just get them to connect with you if that's okay with you?
Yeah,
absolutely, Priya. That's our pleasure.
Okay, great. So thank you so much. Once again, I'd like to really extend this, thank you from the LeadUp family. Thank you, our panelists, and thank you, participant, for taking out time to, join this session.
Thank you all. Thank you, Priya.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Rajiv?
Yeah, just a second.
Yes.
Yeah, now the team is on.
You can stop recording also.
Yeah. So